It's very difficult for a victim to go into a courtroom full of strangers and testify. And it's even more difficult when that victim's a child.
They testified to horrific things, often embarrassing things that none of us would ever want to share. And here they are in this huge room in front of all these strangers, and they're forced to share this. And there they have Avery.
Avery certainly has a calming effect on our victims when they have to testify. Certainly empowers them to feel safe, gives them kind of a safe, it's like a friend who can't talk.
When a child or perhaps teenage victim comes into our office, chances are they're going to have to talk about some pretty terrible things that happened to them. And not only do they have to do that, they have to tell them to a complete stranger, a prosecutor, someone they've never met.
We'll use Avery in meetings with young victims or even adult victims that show a lot of anxiety. Certainly don't want to talk about what had happened to them, but a few meetings with Avery, laying on them and them petting them and having fun with them. Just knowing that he'll be there certainly helps them relax and become more comfortable and be more comfortable with us.
He's a dog, but he becomes somebody that they do trust and they rely on. They know he's going to be there and they know that they're comfortable with him.
Something I've noticed with especially the children is when they come in here, they're very hesitant, they're quiet, they're shy, they hide behind their parents, they hide in the couch or wherever, and Avery comes in and all of a sudden they start to come out of their shell a little bit.
We had one victim in particular who bonded with Avery very quickly, and she would ask, will Avery be there? Can I meet Avery? Can Avery come to court with me? And so we were able to make that happen, and he sits by her feet in the jury box. She was able to just holding the leash. I mean, she doesn't have to pet him, she doesn't have to pay really any attention to him, but just being able to hold that leash gave her a sense of comfort and an ability to tell her story to the jury, and she was able to do that very effectively.
What I have seen with Avery is that these children are more confident and they're more empowered that they have him with them. They don't feel so alone, and it just overall makes them feel more relaxed. And the benefit to having a child more relaxed is it's going to be easier for them to testify, and ultimately it's going to be easier for them to truthfully relay what happened to them.
Judge, we are all gatekeepers of fairness. This has got to be a fair trial. And I spoke to the jury after, and their attitude was, oh yeah, the dog was there, so what? They focused on the testimony, they focused on the evidence. The jurors did their job. They did what they were supposed to do.
Testifying and talking about these things that happened to you, you could take some of that power back, that you don't have to be a victim. And with Avery there, I think it allows some of the people that testify and our child victims to get a little more confidence and take back a little more of that power when they testify. And it can really provide for some really compelling testimony.
If it weren't for the groundbreaking thoughts of Prosecutor Walsh, we wouldn't have him and we wouldn't have that tool.
We got Avery through Canine Companions for Independence. They provided him to us free of charge, and it's just been an all-around very positive experience for our office.
The first time that this is fantastic moment is the father killed his wife in front of his two children. I have no idea how we would have been able to get those kids to talk without him. They didn't trust us, they didn't know us. This was a terrible experience. Everything, and they've lost everything in their life, and they have to come talk about it again almost a year later. And then there's no way they would have talked to us had we not had him.
My number one goal as prosecutor is to make the criminal justice system as easy as possible for witnesses, and particularly children. So we decided to get a facility dog to make this process less stressful for children and less frightening for children. Before we had Avery, I never heard a child say, "When can I come back?" But now that we have him and the kids meet with him, and it just gives them something to look forward to. And, we really don't have a problem getting these kids to come back to meet with prosecutors to help prepare, particularly when a case is going to go to trial.